Good morning and welcome to Our Issues Milwaukee. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. It is the holiday season and our focus today is on two outstanding organizations that truly bring joy and make a tremendous difference in the lives of people both young and old every single day. Midwest Athletes Against Childhood Cancer, also known as the MACC Fund, has been around since 1976, raising funds for childhood cancer and related blood disorder research to give hope to kids battling the disease. My guest is Mr. John Cary, who is the Executive Director of the MACC Fund. How are you?
Great to see you. Thank you.
Always good to see you. And it's amazing, but you've been with the MACC Fund for coming up on 36 years.
That's right, 36 years.
So you've witnessed a lot of the growing of this organization and the outstanding things that you've been able to accomplish when it comes to kids fighting cancer.
Yes, and we're only able to do that because of the wonderful people watching today and so many others.
Yeah, so you've been with the organization almost 36 years, and the MACC Fund just turned 41. So you've pretty much been there the whole time. And I'd love for you to just kind of share with the viewers how it all got started and talk about some of the things you've been able to accomplish.
Well, it started out of a tragedy. Brett Doucette was a little boy about 2 years old. And in November of 1975, his mom and dad at 5 o'clock at night, they know the time, most parents do, were told that their beautiful little baby boy had leukemia. Back at a time when the overall cure rates aren't what they are now.
Yeah.
And out of that tragedy really grew the MACC Fund, because about not quite a year later, John McLaughlin, who was the starting guard in the World Championship Bucks team, was very good friends with Eddie. He retired, and they thought they should do something special for his retirement to basically support a charity. John Steinmiller, who is still with the Bucks, celebrating his 48th year.
Wow.
Which is just remarkable. Talk about another institution. They came up with this idea to support research to try to help kids like Brett. At that time, it was called Milwaukee Athletes Against Childhood Cancer. And about 2 years later, it changed to Midwest. And out of that really humble beginnings on the hardwood in the Milwaukee arena, during a Bucks game, halftime of a Bucks game, this thing started.
Yeah.
And I don't think neither John nor Eddie, who started it, and without the Milwaukee Bucks, they wouldn't have been able to do it to the extent they did. I don't think they ever dreamed that the MACC Fund would be around 41 years later. Yeah. And more importantly, to some degree, Brett is around.
Oh, that's
amazing. He's like
amazing.
43 years old.
Amazing.
Got a little baby and a little toddler now, I guess I should say. And it's just a wonderful story born out of a tragedy.
Yeah, and we look at this storyline. You've got, as you said, legendary Milwaukee Buck, John McLaughlin. Also, people call him Johnny Mac.
Johnny Mac, yeah.
I gave him my own name, Big John. So, you know, he's the co-founder and president of the MACC Fund. And his history with the Bucks, as you said, part of the 1971 World Championship team. Then he was on the 1969 NBA All-Star team. He's helped build this outstanding relationship that the MACC Fund has with the Bucks, as you just stated, but also there's a relationship that the fans have as well, because I was with the Bucks for 16 seasons, and I was able to watch just that relationship between the fans and this organization and what it's been able to do over the years.
You know, it's interesting you say that, because the Bucks are celebrating their 50th anniversary this year, 50 seasons. They created a beautiful book, and they were very kind and recognizing the MACC Fund very prominently. And the part about John, it was very touching. He thanked the fans. He said how much the fans mean. And he said, I always appreciate their support of the MACC Fund, and I hope that they see the things that we're trying to do with the MACC Fund represent how we're trying to live our lives. It was very poignant. John is, needless to say, a wonderful, wonderful person and a great institution in this city. He actually scored the first points in a Bucks game.
Wow.
Which is sort of interesting.
And you look at him, he really hasn't aged at all, you know?
Yeah, he looks great.
He does.
I don't think he can shoot quite as well as he did. But
he might beg to differ, John. I don't know.
You know what? I'm not sure he can even shoot anymore. Because no, I don't mean it. I don't mean because he's old. But I think the wear and tear on his body, and when you think about it, the courts aren't as they are now.
Yeah.
The shoes weren't what they are now. He's showing, understandably, you know, the age of somebody who think about. I mean, good grief, he probably started playing in 5th grade.
Wow, and that's an interesting point, because when you look at athletes, whether it be basketball, football, there's always that element that goes along with it. You know, we look at them, and many of them are heroes, but we don't know what the wear and tear their bodies go through.
It takes a lot out of you.
It does,
and I think that, you know, what I just find remarkable is that John basically dedicated his post-playing career to the MACC Fund.
He really did.
You know,
and
which
he's
is
so
remarkable.
humble about being such a huge part of it all. So you guys have been able to contribute $60 million to research over the years. So if you would talk about the beneficiaries of the funds that you've raised.
We support research at the Medical College of Wisconsin. It's done in the MACC Fund Research Center, which is a 6-story, 141,000 square foot facility. We support research at Children's Hospital of Wisconsin, which is what's called translational research. So it's more clinical based, actually dealing, you know, with a child. In the MACC Fund Center, which is a unit that occupies the entire 5th floor with the exception of the intensive care unit. We support research at the University of Wisconsin Carbone Cancer Center, which is a federally funded center at the University of Wisconsin in the 14,000 square foot MACC Fund Childhood Cancer Research Wing. And this past May, we started to support research at Marshfield Clinic for clinical trials based on national protocols through the Children's Oncology Group. So we actually, we can actually update that number. We sent out checks on Monday, actually, and that number has now grown to $62 million. Wow. Actually, $62,008,322. Yeah,
you better know it to the penny.
Isn't that something?
That's amazing.
Yeah. I think it's an incredible, I think, tribute to the people of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and frankly the nation, because we're fortunate to receive support outside the state. But what an incredible gift of hope those people have allowed the MACC Fund to be.
Yeah, and when you look at the faces of the children that this all goes to help, it really does say so much, like you said, about the entire community that comes together, that makes the commitment and the decision to donate and make a difference in the lives of these babies and their families. Because when anybody is diagnosed with an illness such as cancer, it affects the entire family.
It truly does.
Yeah.
And people think of us just with cancer. But about 15 years ago, we broadened our scope into other hematology, blood disorder kind of things. So diseases like aplastic anemia and sickle cell disease are all things that we support as well. And it is a family affair. And it sometimes takes the proverbial village. And we're fortunate to play a role in that with the research we support.
Yeah, so because of major treatment advances in recent decades, you've got more than 80% of children with cancer now surviving 5 years or more, and that is a huge increase from the mid-70s, where still survival rates depend on the type of cancer and other factors, but you just see everything really moving in a positive direction, and research plays such a huge role in that.
It really does, and those numbers are remarkable to think we flipped it from 20% to 80%, and yet kids can still relapse, they can have late effect issues, which are very, very important. I think the future is going to be immune therapy versus chemotherapy, and that's where so much of the work is going now, and hopefully make it less toxic, you know, for the children.
Yeah.
When little Brett Doucette was diagnosed, it was like using an awfully big weapon to kill an ant.
Yeah.
You didn't know. And back in those days, They didn't have the data and everything else that they do now. But were it not for those days and were it not for those baby steps, we wouldn't be in a position that we're in today.
Oh, wow. And here we are right at Christmas, and you guys have a lot of special events, and 75% of your annual revenue comes from special events. You've got your MACC golf outing at the Bog. That course is a monster, but always a lot of fun, right?
It's a great Arnold Palmer course, and the Hammes family, Mike Hammes, who owns it, has been great. We actually are looking at doing another event there this next year.
That is awesome. Yeah. And then you've got Aaron Rodgers' 12 Days of Christmas. And I've been, you know, flipping through the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, and I see all of these great ads that are really bringing life to what it is you do. We see the pictures of kids who are benefiting from the research and all that you're doing. And to have Aaron Rodgers come on board to help make a difference is huge.
Yeah, he's been very generous. He's supported us since 2010. Believe it or not, he's helped us raise about $2.8 million.
That's amazing.
And Kohl's Care this year is giving $100,000 for that. The USA Network of Wisconsin Papers has been great. But when you look at those stories and you see those children, and you know, I've gotten to know them, it's just remarkable. And the hope that they have, and that's what I think we bring, the MACC Fund brings, is remarkable. And if parents want to, if people want to read them, they can still see it at 12dayskids.com. But they can also, and I think this is very special, they can watch about a 3 to 4 minute interview by one of the moms or dads of each child. And that's very touching. Really
drives home what this is all about.
It really does. And those people are so grateful for the people watching now and so many other people who've supported the MACC Fund.
Okay, well, while we wrap up today's conversation, we can't forget about Candy Cane Lane. People have just a couple of days left. If they have not drove through West Dallas to check this out, tell us how they can do that.
It's an amazing thing. Basically, north of Oklahoma Avenue, between 92nd and 96th. It's the, hard to believe, it's raised over $2 million.
Wow.
And we're thankfully, because of the relatively good weather, and what's also significant is we have an extra week because Thanksgiving was early. We've got a shot at some really impressive numbers. So far we've done very well. Incredible support from the neighbors out there that just for years and years and years, you know, 32, 33 years, I mean, they pretty much give up their their normal lives.
Yes.
They don't park in front of their house.
Because there's like lines of cars going through.
But you know what? It's really become a Christmas tradition or a holiday tradition, and you hear so many people. One of my favorite things is when people say, I support the MACC Fund all the time. And I say, well, what do you do? And they go, we go through Candy Cane Lane.
Yeah.
And you know what? That $1 they put in, or a quarter or whatever, and we give candy to the kids and stuff like that. Santa's out on the corner, and it's neat. So it runs through December 26th, and we welcome people to come out, and we can't thank the people who come, but we also can't thank the neighbors and the sponsors enough.
Well, yeah. Well, thank you for all that you've done over the years, and continued success with everything that the MACC Fund is doing. Thank you. John Cary is the Executive Director of the MACC Fund. For more information, you can visit maccfund.org or call 414-955-5830. When we return to Our Issues Milwaukee, we'll turn our focus to another outstanding organization that's been changing lives since 1865. We'll discuss the Salvation Army of Milwaukee County right after this.